Yo, it's Matt for you, and today we're going to be looking into all of the hints and mysteries surrounding the new version of Lavender Town in the upcoming Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games. If you notice, we have not seen much of Lavender Town in promotional work yet. Lavender Town is one of the biggest parts of the Kanto region, being one of the most memorable for its eerie and creepy nature, and of course the music, which are both things that are going to be remastered in these upcoming games. However, we've seen very little of it. In fact, all that we've seen is this shot right here, which has appeared in more than just this trailer, but it's still the same shot of Haunter being captured in the Pokemon Tower, and you can see behind him there are gravestones, and the floor is tiled, and there's a purple haze surrounding the area, so it does look like it will maintain its creepiness. You can even see some flowers on one of the tombstones on the left and right over here. We are certain that it will retain its creepiness, not just from this image, but also from an interview. So if you go to GameSpot, they did an interview with Junichi Masuda. For some areas like Lavender Town, which was very creepy in the original games, how did you go about expressing that in Pikachu and Eevee? And the game's environmental designer, Kensaku Nabana, he replied with this: "Lavender Town is definitely one that I don't want to talk too much about and have you discover for yourself, but I definitely had the same impression as you. It's kind of this creepy, unsettling place, so initially I approached it with that in mind and designed it to make it look like it would give that impression, but that wasn't enough for Mr. Masuda. He was like, you gotta make it feel even creepier. He gave me a lot of specific directions to do that, so I think it will be fun to see what it looks like." So that tells us two things. They are not toning down the creepitude, which we have seen them do in the Viridian Forest, which has its music feel much less creepy, and that we can expect it to be really surprising because of its absence in the promotional material right now. They have not shown us Lavender Town so far as to leave it be a surprise for the players. And I really like that because we've seen a lot about the game visually, even though it feels like there hasn't been a lot. Maybe the game just doesn't have a lot in it, but it does make me feel better knowing that there are parts of this game, specifically Lavender Town, that they are hiding from us, they are withholding until the day that we get to experience it with our own hands. We can hypothesize some of the things that will be in this version of Lavender Town. For example, in the original games, this creepy ghost, which is not an actual Pokemon, but rather a figment of how the human eye sees the ghost Pokemon without the Silph Scope, has been redesigned in Fire Red and Leaf Green to look more like this. So it is a purple haze with yellow eyes, where it was originally black haze because there's no color, with eyes and a mouth. So the new version didn't have a mouth. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep that or if they're going to add in a mouth and let's go, because they will have to create a redesign for this ghostly Pokemon. So definitely look forward to that new design. Now also in Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town is the Purified Zone, which is this square area in the middle of the tower where if you step into it, it heals all of your Pokemon. So I wonder how that is going to be redesigned in new games as well. In Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, it retains the square design, but it also looks more mystical, and it looks like it's summoning something, like something out of Doctor Strange, and it also has this ethereal glow to it, so we can look for that design to be updated as well. And more specifically in the Pokemon Tower, I'm very interested in seeing what happens with the Ghost Mother Marowak at the very top of the tower, because when you reach that point in the game, you originally just battled a ghost that transformed into a Marowak, but since Fire Red and Leaf Green, we've had the introduction of a Alolan Marowak, and now that Pokemon is basically the ghost version of Marowak. So I do wonder, and will make a prediction, that at the top of Pokemon Tower in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, we will be ambushed by an Alolan Marowak specifically, not just any old Marowak. It does give credence to the idea that the Alolan forms are in this game, and since you are not able to catch that Marowak, it wouldn't be an illegitimate way for you to obtain an Alolan form either. So I think that, and it would be really cool if we were to see an Alolan Marowak at the top of that tower. I'm also interested in the music of Lavender Town, because in the original games it was obviously had that infamous creepy tone, very almost hard to listen to. And then when we got to Gold and Silver version, they actually remade it because the town became more peaceful. That was not a trend in Pokemon moving forward, but instead it was a trend of that time period in-game, which means that when we went back there in Fire Red and Leaf Green, it was not calm anymore. It was just like it was in Red and Blue with this eerie vibe to it. And then when we go back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it again has this calm vibe to it because 3 years have passed and the town has moved on from its creepiness. Since we are going to that period in time that we see in Red and Blue and Fire Red and Leaf Green, we can expect music to be very creepy here, and I hope that is the case given that there were explicit instructions by Mr. Masuda to make this part of the game even more creepier than what the environment designer had originally intended. Let me know what you're looking forward to in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and enjoy the Halloween season. I'm Matt Forio, and that's all for yo today.
Emerge from the darkness at the search of my conscience. If you determine the bargain, then caution. Don't disturb when my heart is on the surface it's harmless. This natural lavender fragrance is perfect to bond with. But when I pull back the curtain, it's obvious how I just thirst for a carcass. Was it worth it, the bargain? And why does it hurt us to part with the curse when it haunts us? We gotta purge her from all of its falsehoods.